All right, this is the moment of truth here. So from what I've seen on reviews online, the plastic-free packaging effectively comes in like a tissue of some sort, like a, kind of like the same kind of gift tissue that you would put into like a birthday bag. Okay, let's see here. So we got a little cardboard thing here. Alrighty. So one thing that I'm most afraid about is definitely the quality control, because obviously that was like a huge concern when the figures were first coming out in the plastic-free packaging. You know, there's that first appearance Spider-Man that I noticed was just riddled with issues. And for Black Series, I noticed mostly just kind of warping in some of the Battle Droids figures, although I don't necessarily think I've seen any crazy examples of, figures being straight up broken or missing accessories. But let's see here. All right, so there's this first little, this is really interesting. Not as bad as, right now so far, it's not as bad as I was kind of expecting it to be. Yeah, I was actually expecting it to be like a lot more like janky, but at least there is kind of like that art around the figure itself where it says like Star Wars Black Series. That makes it seem a little bit nicer at the very least, but I believe we have ourselves the accessory here, and once again, it's weird because I'm so used to it being on like the bubble on the side here, but let's open this up. I cannot remember what the name of this blaster is called. I'll probably try to flash it up on the screen. Oh, come on, focus here. Hello. All right. Oh, what the heck? Come on. Come on. Oh, I think we're making progress. There we go. Oh, that's looking pretty nice. Yeah, I cannot remember. I want to say it's like the DC-15, but I feel as though almost like all of them are called the DC-15. Like I know, oh darn, like I think the DC-15 is like the short one and the DC-17 is like the really, really long one, but I'll try to flash that up on the screen. Anyway, Scorch's blaster so far looks really, really cool. So this one is different from the rest of his Commando brethren. It has kind of this, I believe it's a grenade launch. No, come on, focus here. I believe it's a grenade launcher because, he's the, the explosives expert. Or it's a flashlight, but I'll try to flash it on screen as well. This is the first kind of alteration we've seen on this blaster. I think we've mostly had the same consistent blaster, with the Bad Batch figures as well as the other Clone Commando figures. So for a new piece, this is actually like really, really nice. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have that like white paint strip on the top. I don't recall that being in the video game, but it's been a few years since I've played it, but I really like the contrast it has here between kind of that glossy sheen on the handle and this main component here, and then kind of this like flat gray on the rest of it. It really makes it kind of like stand out and be unique. And I actually do like that white stripe, even if it may or may not be accurate. Oh, come on, focus here for me. All right, let's take a look at the backpack. Taking a look at the backpack, I think Scorch probably has the most unique backpack out of all the members. Like they all kind of have like the normal pack, and that is really sick. Actually, that is so, wow. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really, really impressed with how they pulled off this backpack. I'm gonna try to get it in as clear as a frame as possible because the paint application is really, really good. I like kind of that, I don't know if that's supposed to be there. I don't know if that's supposed to be kind of like, like a metal scratch. But it still looks really, really cool. I almost said molted. The molded detail, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see it. The scratches on the backpack is a detail I was honestly not expecting to get in this figure. I also, for some reason, remember these two kind of like rod things being a bit more straight up. I didn't know they kind of, made a bit of a V shape, but it's still really cool. In fact, I think I'm gonna like it more this way because it's gonna give them a bit more size, a bit more width. And speaking of width, yeah, this is a much more wider backpack compared to the other ones, and I hope this will make him look a bit bigger. Obviously, it's been a common complaint that the Clone Commandos are quite skinny. I don't mind it too much, but once again, it looks like the paint on this side, like, can you see I don't know if it's slanted or not. I feel like it is. I don't know. It's kind of like when you see like a picture frame in your house and you just kind of want to correct it. I really like this kind of almost mustard yellow, and the kind of the gunmetal gray at the bottom of the backpack here is a really, really nice shiny little application. I also like these little blue details here. Oh man, it looks like a slight error. That being said though, I wouldn't necessarily say it specifically because of the plastic-free packaging. I think that is like pretty par for the course for Black Series, but sorry, I'm just gonna try to look at it a bit closer here. Maybe, no, sorry. Okay, so I think what's happening is on this side right here, that's like an intentional scratch, and I think it just became a bit smudgy on this side. But for what they were going for, that's actually like pretty cool. All right, well, with the backpack out of the way and the gun out of the way, let's get on to the main figure himself. All right, Scorch, let's pop you out of here. So I'm guessing we just kind of open this flap here and just kind of give him a little wiggle. It kind of feels like when you're when you put yourself into like a burrito in bed, you know, when you wrap yourself in a blanket and you kind of have to accept your fate with being stuck. So this just kind of slide off. Cool. That is like really cool wrapping paper though, because I don't know, I guess in some of the ones that I saw, it was like a really plain white one. It just looked really cheap, but this one looks a lot fancier. Wow. All right, let's check out this Scorch right here. And just first impression, nice. I gotta say, something about this figure feels a lot different from some of the other clone Commandos. I think, and I could be wrong, I think maybe there's a bit more of a, just a tad bit more of a gloss on the gray color, because on the other ones they feel, you know, flat by comparison. I also think maybe Scorch's design in terms of the colors is a lot more dynamic, so maybe that just kind of lends himself to looking like really, really unique. Oh, wow. So, sorry, I'm just trying to go kind of part by part with this figure. So on the helmet looks really, really nice. I always kind of liked his design, how it kind of went all around. I like the scratches here. I believe, let's see, that's kind of on the packaging. I think it might be a bit more accentuated here. I'm gonna have to look at photos of Scorch to properly compare it, but I do know that these lines are supposed to be a bit rough in terms of the application. Head looks really good. One thing I've always liked about the Commando figure so far is they have a really, really nice blue shine on the visor pieces. It really recreates that aesthetic from the game. And I really do like the Clone Commando helmet so far. I think that's something they really, really knocked out of the park. I wonder, is it the same one? Yeah, it's, oh, do we see something under there? No, we don't. Unlike some of the more recent clones, Scorch, or most of the other Commandos, they don't have a head underneath it. You know, as we saw with the new Stormtroopers and the new Clone Troopers, they have a Tamora Morrison head sculpt under it to kind of make it look a bit more realistic. These ones, it's just the helmet, just kind of like the old classic Black Series, but I think both work really, especially this one. This one actually works quite well. Looking at the torso, it's the same as like the Hunter and all the other Commandos. You know, you either like it or you don't. I think it's fine, especially because it's supposed to be based off of that Clone Wars style in which they are... Oh. Sorry, I think that's fine. I think it is supposed to be based off of that Clone Wars style where they are a bit skinnier. I think that's fine. I really like these little like scratch details around Scorch's little dirt. I think that's what's missing on a lot of clone figures right now. Like I don't mind having, you know, them being shiny, but I do actually quite like the scratches. Gets a lot more detail. Unfortunately, he does have that same like Hunter error where they have this like giant gaping hole, but I mean, you won't see it in most poses, hopefully. Once again, he has these kind of looped shoulder pieces, so they can kind of move with the figure so long as you need it to. Let's actually try to put his stuff on to kind of complete his look. And wow, that looks... Sorry, I'll just try to put his gun on here before I try to give him like his proper portfolio or profile shot, I should say. That looks so cool. That is incredible. And once again, for the rest of the body, it's pretty par for the course. He does have this one added detail right here where he has kind of these canisters. I don't know if they're supposed to be like rocket launchers or something like that, or charges. But like that looks really, really cool. And I'm really glad that they made that work and they didn't, you know, kind of skimp out on it with, you know, either like painting it on. That would have been like really bad, but I'm really glad that they actually went the extra effort here. Yeah, overall, Scorch looks really, really good. To quickly go through kind of like the articulation, he has the ball point at the head, so he can rotate all the way. He can look up. That's actually really good. He can look down, which is why, once again, I actually like the, I don't mind the non-helmeted head pieces. For his arms, he can go up that much, pretty good. And then, yeah, like I showed you before, he can rotate. For his elbow, they have the elbow pegs, which I just love because they can really get a decent... slightly past 90-degree angle to it, but they also swivel here and it feels pretty darn natural. And then for his left hand, it is a swivel and a, I don't know how you would call this, a left and right, I guess. Yeah, unfortunately it's a bit hindered with the armor piece, but that's okay. On his right hand, you can point him down, you can point it up, and once again it swivels as well. If he has a diaphragm joint, which I think you can twist around and ab crunch, that's actually really good for like a Commando. And then he has like the normal pegged legs, so he can kind of do that much. Not an incredible kick. I think if you kind of, if you shift it around, you can probably get into a decent kneeling pose. And once again, they have the pegged knee joint, very, very similar to the elbow joint, where it definitely enables a lot, like a pretty decent bend, as well as a really, really good natural rotation, because those original like double pegged clone legs are really, really ugly. And I'm really, really glad that they started using this kind of engineering. And then for the ankles, it is your standard Hasbro 6-inch scale ankle pivot. You know, you see it on the Marvel Legends, you see it on the Black Series, and I'm sure you probably see it on their other lines like G.I. Joe and Power Rangers. So yeah, pretty standard articulation. And just as shown on the side of the box earlier, Scorch is about 6 inches tall, so he's going to fit in with the rest of your Black Series just fine, especially with his other squad mates, considering the fact that they're literally the same body mold. In fact, let me go grab him real quick. So I'm going to shoot this section very, very quickly because Fixer, it just really, really wants to fall down. But here is Scorch posted up with his other squad mates, and I gotta say, this looks really cool. I honestly didn't think we were going to get these, like all 4 of these guys so soon in the Black Series line. I got into the line mid to late 2020, and I remember like back then, the idea of having the Delta Squad felt so distant, and in, you know, what felt like a really, really short time, we have all 3 of them here, and it is just really, really, or sorry, not all 3, all 4 of them here, and it is really, really cool. I know Scorch by comparison took a little bit of time, but, you know, realistically speaking, getting all 4 of them within the span of a year isn't so bad, and I think they wanted to push Scorch's release more towards season 2 of the Bad Batch, because obviously he was in the first season and he makes another cameo appearance in the second. If I had to rank these in order of how much I enjoy each of them, I gotta be honest, I think the one I enjoy the most is probably Scorch. The one I enjoy the second best would probably be Boss, just because, you know, having him being like the first Commando and just being so excited when he was released, definitely he would be second best. I would say Sev is third best. I don't think that his paint application is super duper great. Like, I think it just looks a bit flat. That being said, though, he comes with a really, really unique weapon, and it's Sev. You know, it's really hard to, it would be impossible to put him last. Here's about like he's probably last. They're all like really, really good figures. Just like with Fixer, I noticed a lot of stiffness in the ankle joints, which, keep in mind, all of these Commando mold figures are going to have like really, really stiff ankles. So, you know, it might be a bit tough trying to pose them around at first. But still, all of these 4 are really, really solid. I am so happy to have them together. This is so cool. For years, I had the 3 3/4 inch ones displayed alongside my TV. And it is so cool that we have this in the Black Series line. If I had to rank Scorch by himself, in fact, let's give him his proper spotlight. Yeah, so looking at Scorch by himself, if we had to give him kind of his own little like ranking, his own little rating, I should say, he's a really, really good figure. I think his design really, really helps. The fact that he has a really unique backpack, that piece on his leg, and a really unique gun, and just a really, really unique color scheme really lends itself well to having a really good action figure. But I think they did it really well. They executed it quite well. I'm a fan of the mold. I'm a fan of the paint, like everything. It's a really, really good figure. Very strong showing for the Gaming Greats line, which has probably become a favorite of mine. I just really like the gaming figures. Yeah, I can't really think of much to say wrong about Scorch. He's a really good figure. You know, there's like the general critique of the Commando mold being a bit small, but I think Scorch kind of fills it out well thanks to his big backpack and his leg piece. Yeah, I would say probably like a 9 out of 10. This is like a definite pickup. Like, if you're only going to pick up one figure out of all of these, like, I guess maybe you would want to get Boss because he's the main character, you know, he's the one that you play as in the game, but I think Scorch is most people's favorite member of Delta Squad, and I think if you're going to pick up one, I think this is a great figure to pick up. But I want to say thank you very much for watching this video. This is kind of like my first review. I'm really nervous about posting it, so I hope it turns out okay. I hope to get a bit better as time goes along. But in the comments below, tell me, what do you think of this figure if you have it, or if you don't have it? Are you excited to get it? Are you going to pick it up? If you have all 4 of these figures, which one do you think is the best? And then who is your favorite member of Delta Squad? I know that's a lot, but that gives you something to work with. I'll see you guys next time.